If the Super League greedy six could not kill West Ham's Champions League dream, neither could Burnley. David Moyes might only be 4 games from away from his greatest achievement after West Ham beat Burnley 2-1 at Turf Moor, leapfrogging Spurs and closed the gap behind Chelsea to 3 points. Welcome back to West Ham Irons United. I am Anton. This is your West Ham Daily, titled Antonio, our fox in the box. People are already questioning me, going, he ain't a striker. He's not a striker. The man himself's turning around and saying, I've transformed into a striker. He's been everything since he's joined the club. But first and foremost, thank you very much for joining us and also being passed over from Russ from My Hammers 11. Make sure you go and check out Russ's channel, and hope you enjoyed his daily show as well. I know there's going to be a lot of you in the chat, and we'll just go through and see who's in, and then we'll get started on today's show. But like I said beforehand, been lots of you tuning into the channel, new people coming into the channel as well. Come into the chat, we'll engage as much as we can. Hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and leave a comment. And what you will notice with us is we engage all the time. Most of our shows are live, and we have loads of content coming out to you as well over the coming days and weeks, etc., like we have done as well. James Bong, thank you for joining us. Why am I so happy? It's 7:30 on a Tuesday morning with a hangover. I do not blame you, mate. David Trevitt is saying, if not a striker, how is a fox in the box? Love the little emoji faces, but tune in and you'll see why I am saying it. Ironclad. I've got a little bit of a sniffle today as well, so apologies for that little cold. If we qualify for the Champions League, we'll have to play our ties away, or do you think GSB thought of to include them in the stadium contract? Might have to throw our domestic cup games to fit the Champions League games in. I think there'll be a way around that, if I'm being brutally honest, Ironclad. If it generates some form of income into that stadium that's not had any over the last however long, then I think they'll be happy. But I think we'll have to expand the squad, and we'll see what happens there. If we make Champions League, I would not want to be embarrassed. Worst case, third in a group and get Europa League. But listen, you never know what happens. Loads of people in the chat. Caden Smike, thank you very much for joining us. Peach is in the house. Hope you're well, Peach. Jerry Moffat, having to have an out of work for this. I'm sure it's worth it. 100%, mate. Love it. Thank you for doing that. Simon Rogers, yo, hope you're well. Mark Alexander, you're in the house. Marcus Lieb, you're in the house. Thank you very much, Peach. Yes, it's our time. Simon Rogers, hello. Thank you for joining us. Adam Cook, afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all well. Lee Vassallo, we are massive. Yes, West Ham are massive, mate. Gary Rutter, thank you for joining us. I am doing well. Hope you are also. Our man under the stairs, yes, it is. I ain't going to deny it. I ain't going to try and tell you that I'm not. That's where I am. That is what happens. Yes, may the 4th be with you, Daniela. For all you Star Wars fans, up the hammers, 100%. Freedom Sounds, happy Tuesday, Hammers family. James Bond, good afternoon, chaps. Oh my God, so many comments, so many people. You're all talking to each other as well. Mick Anderson, afternoon all, and another fantastic result, which it was. Robert Singleton, windy up here in Liverpool, Charlie Boy, Peach Lee. But like I said, Tom Potter, I'll take that, mate. I'll take that. But listen, we all talk about Antonio. My word, his inclusion was a shock to everyone for the game yesterday, but it worked wonders. And I said when we done our preview, and I said before when we done our match day live, if there is the inclusion of Antonio, is Antonio, is risking Antonio a good thing or a bad thing? With 4 or 5 games to go before yesterday's game, my mindset was it was a good thing. You have to risk Antonio because we need to stop that rot. We lost 2 games in a row and we needed to stop that rot. And as you can see, he was extremely effective in the game. So let's get in to the today's show. West Ham also proved what a difference a year can make. Last season, West Ham lost our 34th Premier League game in the league to Burnley, which was going to leave us deep in relegation trouble. And of course, the equivalent fixture now puts us into 5th place. And it has been a stunning turnaround under Moyes, who have showcased a taste for comebacks. So after losing our 2 previous games, going 1-0 down at Turf Moor last night, we responded in emphatic, excellent fashion. Antonio marked his return from injury by scoring twice in 9 minutes. And here we are. There's a little cheeky image of Antonio as well. He was forced off against Wolves 4 weeks ago with a hamstring strain, and his absence coincided with the consecutive defeats against Newcastle and Chelsea that left West Ham playing catch-up. The forward caused problems for Burnley throughout, constantly running on both flanks and in front of goal, and he had already made his presence felt when he headed home Soufal's fantastically timed perfect cross to cancel out Chris Wood's penalty. He then touched Saeed Benrahma's low ball into the net, with Benrahma tormenting the hosts, who were guilty of some poor defending as well. And David Moyes himself has been praising Antonio, who is now the joint top goal scorer at West Ham with Jesse Lingard and Thomas Soucek, and with 9 goals each. I mean, goals throughout the squad, and the next player down is Jared Bowen with 8. David Moyes said he was in super condition. He's been working really hard and he deserved his 2 goals. And another day, he could have scored another 2. Absolutely. He could have scored maybe more than that, if I'm being brutally honest. We're trying to keep him up with the teams at the top. Whether we can make the top 4, I'm not sure, but we're definitely in there fighting with 4 games to go. He also said that there's a lot of good things to take away from it. All in all, a real team performance, which it absolutely was. Now West Ham have got Antonio back. He really could help West Ham get to new heights. Especially now in recent times, we've had, injury problems. He epitomised West Ham's irrepressible spirit. They kept on running. We kept on shooting, clocking up 22 efforts against Burnley and against their keeper. And they wondered, how did they not get a third goal? I wondered how we didn't get the third goal. Without Ogbonna and Mark Noble, who joined the injury list, we found a way to win. Minus Noble and Declan Rice, Moyes looked as though he had borrowed a ploy from Guardiola's handbook, packing his team with attacking midfielders. And it may have been caused by necessity, but that caused Burnley untold problems. Antonio's hat-trick hunt included an improvised shot with his right foot, then he hit with his left after he latched on to Pablo Fornal's misdirect effort, and on a half volley that he thudded into advertising hoardings, while Nick Pope made a terrific save from Lingard. I mean, Antonio even made a joke about the chance, saying that the Pablo shot, I think I've got an image here, is it this one? Yeah, the Pablo shot, it's bobbling everywhere. I've hit it with my right, straight onto my left, so I can get the perfect hat-trick, but it just didn't work out for me. So, he's having a bit of banter there, and it's true. But, despite feeling that his natural role is out wide, he's beginning to adapt and enjoy the transition. Antonio has said, I've now adjusted to it. At the beginning, I didn't really like it. This is him in relation to moving up front. He didn't like it having his back to the game. I like to get out wide and basically run at people, but now I'm getting used to it and getting those opportunities to score goals. The best thing in football is scoring goals. He also discussed the changes that David Moyes has made since returning to West Ham. And this is some of the key points he's said there. He said, you've got to make sure that we're working hard. And first thing he said to us was when he came in, he showed us our running stats. And I think they were 19th in the running stats. And now they're either 4th or 5th. He said they've got the quality, the players do, to do the things, but if we don't run and work hard for the team, then it's not going to be enough. And that's why you can see it in all of the football stats that we show you, that we talk about week in and week out. Every single day, you've got players working for the team, tracking back, covering so much ground in that park. I think in the first half in particular, Lanzini ran over 6K in that first half against Burnley, and it just reads volumes in what Moyes is doing to the men, to the team, changing up small little simple things, etc. Antonio went on to discuss West Ham's European qualification chances. So it'd be unbelievable, he says. Every boy wants to play in the Champions League, and every fan, of course, wants West Ham to be in the Champions League. It's his 6th year now, and he's been with West Ham for so many seasons, and 9 times out of 10 they've been fighting at the bottom of the table trying to stay in the league. And now that we have an opportunity with the top 4 to go for the Champions League, and it's a dream come true, we're not going to give up on it. We're going to keep fighting and keep pushing, and you can see that in the West Ham team. You can see that in the West Ham performances. throughout the whole squad. He was also joking and jesting about his muted celebrations after both goals, saying that previous negative experiences of VAR mean he is reluctant to showcase some of his more unorthodox routines. He's referenced the running man, the Simpsons, in previous celebrations, but seemed more subdued this time. And he talks about it. He says, "I'm a person where I've had a couple of goals disallowed through VAR, and I don't want there to be doing a dance and then a goal gets disallowed. It's a bit embarrassing." He's toned it down the celebration because he doesn't want to be doing a dance. And there's a couple of times when it's been about to do it, and then the handball and all that sort of stuff. And VAR has absolutely killed it. Antonio's time at West Ham, though, has been defined by his versatility, having played on the wing and at right back, and his current role as a striker. Let's have a look and see. He currently has played 155 Premier League games for West Ham. He scored 45 Premier League goals and sits in third place behind Mark Noble, who's on 46 goals, and Paolo Di Canio on 47 goals scored in the Premier League. So he's got 4 more games of this season to try and break Paolo Di Canio's Premier League record. Yes, Mikel Antonio might be able to do that. Which is fantastic. And this is what the sorry, that's not the one I want to talk about. I don't know if I've got that image, have I? I'm going to just quickly check. But this is where it comes in the Fox in the box. Antonio scored 19 headed goals in the Premier League. And he is equal with that with Harry Kane and Olivier Giroud. And all of Antonio's goals in the Premier League have come from inside the box. This is the Fox in the box. All 45 goals that Antonio has scored in the Premier League have come from inside the box as well. This season, he's got 9 goals, 5 assists. And let's take a look at his stats all round over the last 27 games, being involved in 23 goal contributions in his last 27 games with 17 goals and 6 assists. So you can't tell me that this guy is not pivotal and so important to West Ham moving forward. Let's take a look at Antonio's stats since joining the club and his goals to games ratio. Since joining 2015-16 season, he played 26 games, scoring 8 goals. 2016-17 season, 29 games, 9 goals. 17-18 season, 21 games, 3 goals. 18-19 season, 33 games, 6 goals. 19-20 season, 24 games, 10 goals. And this season, and with the season's still on, 22 games and 9 goals. And of course, he doesn't actually complete a full season, no more, doesn't get 38 games under his belt. However, he is so pivotal and important to West Ham for scoring goals and contributing to that full team effort. And do you know what? The funny thing is, where would we be without those goals? Where would we be without those assists? This stat alone is fantastic. 23 goal contributions in his last 27 games. That is an unbelievable stat, and that's what brings me to, is Antonio our Fox in the box that we've been crying out for, goal scorer, etc. I know he's got hamstring problems. I'm very aware of that, but you get 23, 24, 25 games out of him a season. That's what happens with this man. Let's go into the comments and see what everyone else is talking about in relation to it. Let me just go back up as far as I can. Happy Tuesday, Hammers family. Sorry again, got a cold, so I'm working through it. I'm working today as well. I'm on my lunch break, so I'm coming to you during my lunch break. So a lot of sniffles, etc. James, you're all talking to each other. That's really good. James Farmer, thanks for the watch along yesterday. Kept me going on a long drive home. Thank you very much for tuning in, James. I hope you enjoy it. And you know, the mindset behind us doing the match day lives and the watch alongs are that you actually get a vibe of being at maybe the supporters club and at the stadium with us, because you know we do tend to sit together when we go to the games, and the banter you see live on the camera is exactly the same banter you have at the supporters club, then going into the stadium and from there. So yeah, please, thank you for joining us, and like I said, if you're new here, please join in and comment and subscribe to the channel. Mick Anderton, afternoon all, and another fantastic result. It absolutely was. Peach, Lanzini was immense yesterday, and Lingard, wow, Lanzini massively impressive. Sat deeper, controlled, and dictated the game from back, and his stats read out today were fantastic. absolutely brilliant. Adam Cook, team played brilliant. Only player needed to sort his position out was Diop, but did get a better second half. Whole team playing for each other. Adam, 100% correct, mate. I thought Diop had a little bit of a slippery first half. However, I thought he made up for it in the second half. He was extremely commanding in the second half, and he was fantastic. Ken, great performance last night, but weekend is another must-win game. And to be honest, mate, I think most of them are a must-win game as well. Cheers, Peach. Ironclad, my mate's a Newcastle fan, but he posted today how much he enjoys watching West Ham. I do as well. I absolutely do. Moyes has just changed the whole dynamics of the whole West Ham setup, and after Antonio's comments about Moyes saying that let's look at the running stats, and we were sitting currently like at that time in 19th and 20th place for running. No one was working hard, no one was covering enough ground. He's changed that around, and we're now sitting in 4th or 5th place for the running stats in the game. That's fantastic. Kent, I was so surprised Antonio played the 90, and as was probably every West Ham fan as well, but he didn't, a couple of times I thought he was huffing and puffing, but he still continued. And I understood why he didn't take him off, because he was actually causing Burnley loads of problems in that line. And as we said earlier on, he could add more than 4 goals, to be honest. He looked fitter than ever. Yeah. And I think that's what I like about, the fact that, you don't get as much news coming out of the club, too many secrets coming out of the club, etc. They kept it all on the down low, which is really cool, and I like that. And it caught maybe Burnley off guard. How many teams have we done the double over this season? Must be a club record 2. I think I looked earlier on, it was about 6 or 7. Aston Villa, Leicester, Wolves, Burnley. So yeah, good question. Actually, I need to look into that exactly. Champions League, Europa League, I'll take either one. Let's get our feet on the train. 100% Marcus Lieb. However, you can't help yourself and want to get the Champions League. Antonio says he can't really cheer when he scores because of VAR rules it out. 100%. I've just mentioned that as well. I feel like I'm repeating myself, say it every week, but how big is the Everton game? 100%. But then, before that, how big was the Burnley game? We had a 6-point gap between West Ham and Chelsea, and not winning that game would have really caused us a bit of concern, but we've brought ourselves right back into it again, and we've leapfrogged, like I said, Tottenham to get back up there. Adam Cook with Antonio, the beast is back, and Rice back for Everton, full team if Augie gets fit. Champions League is ours, and it's definitely it's going to be an interesting end to the season. 100%. Mark Davis, even and everyone from Brisbane, fantastic game this morning. My time, well done, boys. Thank you very much for joining us on our very transatlantic show that we've got. 100%. We've got everyone here. And it's nice to see so many people from different countries get involved. Glenn Marshall, Mickey terrorised the Burnley centre-backs, a one-man wrecking machine. He absolutely is, mate. And what he does is, if I was the Burnley defence looking at that whole setup, you've got Antonio running at you, running on the flanks, tracking back, holding up play, bringing other players into the game. You've got Lingard, who, covers so much ground. He presses so far on the defenders. You've got Fornals, the glue, the work rate in that man. I'm slowly but surely falling in love with him as a West Ham player. I really, really, really rate Fornals highly, and I've always been the one to call on him to potentially be dropped. However, after his performance yesterday, no. You'd struggle to drop him. You've got Benrahma, who's come off and started yesterday, who's performed fantastically well, terrorised the Burnley defence. And then you've got Lanzini, who sat deep and dictated play from back there. And I thought he was back to his old self there yesterday, and I think he loved it when he could just play ticky-tacky football, triangular football with those tricky midfielders. Ironclad, seeing Antonio's missed attempt at a hat-trick, I can see why his parents stopped his ballet lessons. He's not got the greatest of finesse, but he still turns up and he's been transformed. And you can't help but think, when you've got Antonio in that box, the fox in the box, he's going to get a goal, and that's exactly what he does. That's exactly what he does. And as David Moyes says, that's what I do. Winning is what I do. We definitely do need to bring new signings in, but we'll talk about that again coming up soon. Harley, the Salami, can see Antonio getting another 10 to 20 goals for us in the next 3 years. I completely agree with you, mate. I can as well, and becoming West Ham's Premier League all-time goal scorer. Mark Davis, Benrahma, Lanzini, Fornals and Lingard, the Fab Four. Absolutely, didn't even add in Antonio to that equation, or even Bowen into that equation as well, who came off the bench. What an option off the bench. Daniela Stewart, it was a fantastic performance by the team. It was. Scott, hope you're well. Absolutely, it's one more and he ties up with Noble. It really is. Has Anton been sniffing the Man United corner flag? No, I've not, Ironclad. I've got a really bit of a bad cold, and it's actually yeah, it seems to be getting worse as the day goes on as well. And talking a lot doesn't help, but got to bring the West Ham content to you, and we've got an opinion. We want to get the point across. Adam Cook, when Antonio is on it, I don't think there's a better striker. Just a pest. Defenders hate playing him. He is a beast, and you're right, mate. And do you know what? See, if we do qualify for Europe, could you imagine Antonio up against any of those teams? They will not know how to handle him because they've never come across anything like Antonio. Absolutely fantastic. Gary Rutter, we should be playing his attacking team in the next 4 games. Let's go for it. Yes and no, but I do think you're going to have, with the news that Declan Rice is going to be coming back into the setup, who do you drop? That's the big question. Who's going to get dropped? Because you're not going to play a game without Declan Rice. Harsh on whatever player is dropped, but I can see it happening. Sabina, thank you for joining us. Do we get an Antonio-style striker as the backup? Harley, I think we need to sign a striker who can come in and challenge for the first team spot, and whoever has to take the back seat has to take the back seat. I don't think we can afford to just rely heavily on one player and buy a backup striker. It's like the conversation when you say about a goalkeeper. No, go and sign a number one. Go and sign a centre-half who's a number one. Look what Dawson's done. West Ham signed him on loan for cover, and he's come in and he's cemented his place. He got back to his best yesterday. Fantastic performance from him. Scary Rutter, someone will take a hiding off us one day. Yeah, absolutely. Ross Cordell, fruit salad and coffee. Funny thing is, I've actually had a bit of fruit salad. I've actually had a coffee together this morning as well. Especially when you're trying to lose a little bit of the old timber. Ironclad, don't think Antonio's hamstring's a problem when he has players doing the running around him. Last night he was able to do more static around the box area. Ironclad, you nailed on the head, mate. You've allowed all those players to do a lot of the running for him. However, he still did a lot of running and got a lot heavily involved in the game. So he caused him so many concerns. Danielle Stewart, Dawson had a good return with the goal line clearance. He did. How annoying is that Newcastle result now? 100%, mate. 100%. And Mike D, what a great time to be a West Ham fan. Sell Anderson or Yarmolenko. And Gary Rutter, I agree with you, Anton, on Fornals. Burnley looked phased by Antonio appearance. And listen, there's so many more comments. I'd love to go through them, but I do have to get back to work today. It is a short and sharp daily show. I hope you agree with me on the fact that, has Antonio become our fox in the box? And I think he potentially has. And I wonder what it'd be like if he had another, striker looking over his shoulders going, oh, he wants that first team spot. And if West Ham can play with that attacking style and let those players work hard for him, then that's what's going to be the big change for West Ham moving forward into next season. If you are new here, please go and click the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and leave a comment. Tonight at 7 o'clock, we've got the player ratings hosted by Jake and Matt. So please make sure you join us. Please go across to that show. The guys, it's a brand spanking new show, and it's actually really good. It's good banter. They have a good laugh, and they give a good rating show. So we do that predominantly most Tuesdays. It's worked well this week because it's fallen the day after a game. So please go and check out the show, 7 o'clock tonight. The show's set up, ready to go. So please be there and check it out 7 o'clock tonight, and we'll be back again tomorrow for another West Ham Daily. Anyway, I've been Anton. Thank you for joining me, and come on, you Irons. The European charge is still on. Come on, West Ham.